LEADx is a global leadership program that unites talents from across the industry, from across the continent, in Europe and beyond, to make better decisions, to negotiate better, to build better, to connect better. That's why we're here. This year's edition is the first one after COVID, and we're really hopeful this is in-person edition. We'll make it better off. We'll make people connect better. We'll make people learn better. We recruited 10 countries and 29 people from 10 European countries and beyond. And we are really hopeful that those 29 people will benefit from what we have to offer, all the way from the Fletcher School to IWPR and other institutions that support LEADx. We're really hopeful that they multiply the knowledge and connection that we are trying to give to them.
We usually have the opening by Professor Richard Schultz, the director of the International Security Studies program at the Fletcher School. I call him a sensei.
And so it's very important that you learn about them and how they're used and how to fight against them. So these objectives of LEADx Change 23 are very important.
This is the first post-COVID, and it's the first following the full-scale Russian invasion of Ukraine. So it's a time to get together exactly when it's needed to really look at core challenges that the world is facing, but particularly the region is facing, and to see how everybody can express their agency and come closer together to basically preserve and protect and rebuild the societies that we all cherish so much, which are open, free, and democratic.
Forums unresolved mutations of conflicts in Georgia, the Crimean occupation. Partners like German Marshall Fund, NewsGuard, Sync Network, CRDF, and others.
This is like fresh air for me to be part of this program right now. It's a very diverse group of people, like from different countries. I got to know many of them already. We've spoken a lot. And so I think I'm going to enjoy these couple of days as much as I can. And I also plan to switch off all the devices and just to be fully involved in this program.
It's an amazing, amazing project. So we have to deliver, but that's...
I applied for the Accelerator because I'm Ukrainian American. So I'm really passionate about these issues, and I work in the international security field, so it seemed like the perfect fit. And I work remotely, so for me it's actually really special to gather with other professionals in the field. And I'm mostly based in the US, so it's extra special to get to meet people from the CE region, and especially the Ukrainians that are here.
I think the speakers are great, and the attendees, peers here in my group are very, very, very diverse from different countries, from different fields, and I think it's going to be a great course.
I think these forums are important because, first of all, they bring great people together. It's an opportunity to socialize, it's an opportunity to learn, it's an opportunity to meet new people with different perspectives and to share your own. I think that this is a great opportunity for anyone.
I think these are the best places to get the best minds together and find the best solutions, especially when you have like people from all fields, whether it's academia, whether you have tech people, whether you have public policy people, mixing it up and having the best of the best from all the fields is how you move things forward.
Video, I welcome my friend, my mentor, Tom Checker.
We were changed on 9/11, as did everything. There were less 7 deadly sins than just terrorism.
It's so important for communities to be developed, people who want to improve their cities, their countries, and the world, for like-minded people to know that there is a community like them who believes in democratic values and who want to stand up to dictators and authoritarian governments. And so these forums let these people come together, maybe be inspired, maybe learn from the speakers, but just as important, to create their own network for future years. Because these are all young leaders who are going to become elevated into more important positions. I'm at an age where I'm very pessimistic about the future. The world's a very tough neighborhood. When I come to events like this and meet the quality of future leaders, I actually have some reason for optimism. They're smart, they're committed, their hearts are in the right place, their brains are in the right place. I hope they can make the world a better place.
It is very clearly a high-level group because my impression is that they're out in the world really using these things right now. I mean, regional considerations aside, these are people who are really working in politics, in business, and don't just want to learn, but want to apply. And so you kind of can hear that in the questions that they're asking. This isn't theoretical, this is really what should we do in our own lives and the way that we lead. I think just as much as it's helpful to have instructors, professors, and experts talk about similar issues from different lenses and different perspectives, like you saw to some degree, Linnington, as well as my different discussions on strategy really dovetailed and went together. So I think it's nice to see people from different disciplines talk about the same thing and give different toolboxes. And just as important is the lateral learning that happens amongst the participants.
You feel that you're not alone. You know, everybody here seems to be deeply committed to, you know, one or many issues that have an impact. The sessions help you you know, trigger some ideas in your mind, and sometimes you learn a few new things, and then you meet some really fascinating people. And for at least 2 years, most of us have been locked away from, you know, human contact. So it's really wonderful to be able to see a whole person, you know, to be able to look at their shoes and say, oh, those are really very nice shoes. I haven't seen somebody with shoes on for a long time.
Well, I think any time that people wish to come together to learn about new ideas, it gives you an opportunity to understand each other's differences, because we all see the world through the lens of wherever we come from and whatever our sectors of work are. And then we also discover what we have in common. And I think that's always a surprise. Sometimes it's a surprise, but those are the things that we can work on together, but also to understand where the differences matter, and that's okay too.
The world is fast changing. You know, more has changed in the last year and a half than the world has seen in the last 30 years since the Cold War. So I think increasingly we need new leaders who are working at interdisciplinary levels and able to use a lot of skills like strategic negotiations, decision making, leadership skills, to equip them to be better leaders that are fit for purpose for the future that we face today.
Briefly, like scenario planning, that's one way to test. But then we move into a time period where, you know, I'm talking at that level of a national...
I'm actually quite struck by the range of interests that people represent in this group. I mean, there's some people who are working on issues to do with preserving, you know, freedom of speech and fundamental democratic institutions. There are some people who, you know, travel from Ukraine and just leaving Ukraine and coming, you know, just around the corner to Georgia, you know, seems like an odyssey. And going back is going to be an odyssey as well.
I don't know what they have to say, but...
Okay, we have guests. Well, I haven't yet
Georgian hosts are the most amazing hosts on the planet. They really know how to throw a party, but also how to bring people together. And I think that is so critical as I'm beginning to understand about Georgia, about the region, because the connectivity, I always believe that we are stronger as a group than we are as any single entity, country, what have you. This particular group of students, wow, like really, really interesting professional work, very dedicated to whatever that work is, very involved in the conversation. You know, our goal when we teach is to try and give a couple of skills. So I hope they might have taken away a little bit of that. But I'm inspired with what I do by meeting these students and what their day-to-day work is.
Sometimes there are more questions, sometimes there are less questions. Small, tiny particles of technology, how much role they can play in each of our lives.
Your perspectives is
We will all come to the table with a little bit of a different perspective, and then we will learn.
Conflict and crisis, governance, so we can move forward, we can jump on to the track of development and progress.
So I got interested with LEADx because it included the word accelerator in its name. So I got really interested in how could several days of training accelerate anyone. Now I know the answer. It was a mix, it was a great mix of very interesting topics with an amazing participants from 10 countries, united under one idea or under several ideas, but united to recognize the threats that are around us and ahead of us, and to somehow collect the ideas, collect the minds together.
We focused on, key topics like Russia and China sanctions. We focused on disinformation, but really it was inspiring to see people from different stakeholder groups, from media, from government, from civil society, all in the same room, working towards the same goal. And I think the support that I've seen for Ukraine as a Ukrainian American has been very touching to my heart. So that's probably my favorite parts of LEADx.
Being here and seeing the spirit of the people here and fighting to change the reality on the ground is really inspiring. So I would encourage everyone, if they can, to come to Georgia and see what it's like to be here.
I invite all leaders on the stage.